Hi everyone. So nobody came to the 101 class today, which is okay. But I thought I would just give you a brief, no longer than 15-minute overview, kind of check in with you, talk through some things that I think you need to know, and then let you work on your assignments for this week. So the first thing I'm going to do is just talk over what's going on with English 101 this week and what your expectations are, or my expectations for you are. So we are really focusing in on our personal academic essays this week. I have given you feedback on everything you have submitted to me so far, so please make sure to check that feedback. Make sure you're on the right track before you continue. I don't want to see that happen again where you just keep going with an idea even if it doesn't work or I haven't approved it. The big thing that I want you to remember about this project is you need to develop an argument, right? So some kind of argument that you preview in that thesis, and then you use your personal experience and the research that you find to develop that argument. Okay, so I think that is the biggest thing that a few of you are missing so far. Okay, so this week, what we're going to do is you did your organizational models. Those looked good. You want to pick one of those that you think most effectively considers your thesis. So you may not know which one you like at this moment, but after you start doing your research, you're going to make an outline for Friday. So that was something I was going to talk about, and I will talk about in just a minute. You have submitted your research question to me. I've given you feedback on that. Please, please, please submit your research question before you choose your sources. I want to make sure that you're on the right track. For today, Wednesday the 12th, you are going to submit your sources for your personal academic essay. I'll talk about what those sources are just as a little verbal reminder. Friday, you're going to have your outline due along with a title, intro paragraph, and optional conclusion for your essay. Okay, and then just keep up with Becoming Miss Burton. You don't need to submit anything to me for that, but I will expect that you have finished that by May 26th. So these are just kind of guidelines to keep up with consistent reading of that book. That will be the focus of our final project for this class, so that's why we have to continue reading it even though you have other writing assignments. Okay, so I'm going to talk through these assignments, these kind of major projects for this week. Well, they're pre-writing steps towards your major project, which is your personal academic essay. So the first thing that you're going to do is you have your research question. Now you want to start using that research question to find the research that you're looking for. So as a reminder, I require 4 specific source types for this project. The first one is a primary source. We talked over this a bit in class for your previous assignment, but essentially a primary source is an uninterpreted source, things like interviews, diaries, photographs, YouTube videos. With my 117 class, we talked about how that could be a primary source. Please read this PowerPoint. So it is posted here. It is also posted in the module. It really gives you an in-depth overview of the differences. So we have 3 different source types that we can find. Primary is what we're looking for here. Your typical source type is a secondary source where an event is explained to you. Some expert has told you what to think about something, right? That's our typical source. And then we have a tertiary source, which we do not want. These are compilations of information without a lot of citation. So the key source type we don't want is tertiary, and that's like Wikipedia. Okay. All right, so you're looking for a primary source. You are looking for a print source. And this means that you have to explore how a piece of media was originally created and published. okay? So if we just go to Google and we type in something, we are most likely going to find a web source, right? So it was never in any other form. It was not printed. But many things are originally print sources that have then been digitized. So that's things like academic journals. You can find books that were originally published online, and I've given you 2 places to look for books and articles. So that's the difficulty. You guys live in a totally digital age. When I was in college, I had to go and actually, physically get a book from the library. But we still have to know, how was it originally published? Okay, so that's why I ask you for that. Last one, Unconventional Source. This is really fun, and students have done a great job with these in the past. A lot of people do social media, like Twitter posts, Instagram, YouTube videos, those kinds of things. Make sure that your source proves what you're trying to say it does. So some random person on YouTube, like they have no credentials, they can't comment on statistical things, right? You have to still examine their credibility. But if you just want someone to say, I struggled with my body image and this person also did, they could be, mostly a pathos source for you, right? To also add some emotion to your project. Okay, so those are the 3 requirements. And then you have to have a 4th source, and that's up to you. And another note, some of these may be, they could overlap, right? You could have a primary source that is also unconventional, but please then pick another, okay? So if you have like a YouTube video for your primary source, that's fine, but then also choose, like a Twitter post or something, okay? So what you're going to submit for tonight are the 3 sources that you want to use. Let me know what source requirement they fulfill, the name of the source, its credibility or why you think it's relevant, and then how you're going to use it. What's its relationship to your topic? Okay, so that is for tonight, May 12th. And then for Friday, you have an outline due. Okay, so we have talked through writing skills, or you have completed writing skills number 8, which gives you a lot of different structures. I would suggest picking your favorite. I've given you some feedback on the assignment that you did. So choose the outlined organizational structure you think works best. Okay, so what I need from you for your outline, I would like your research question at the beginning. You can give me your tentative thesis if you're there. That's fine as well. I want to know the main idea of every paragraph you plan to include. Even if it's not finished, I want to see the main ideas of all of your paragraphs, right? Just a little reminder, for the paragraph requirement. You do need 2 paragraphs that are only personal experience, right? So at least 2 complete paragraphs, only personal narrative, right? No sources, just you telling your story. And then you need 2 more paragraphs that include evidence from outside sources. So that means at minimum, your essay must have 4 body paragraphs and at least 3 major ideas. So keep that in mind as you are outlining. Okay, so next up I want to see evidence. So both the evidence that you have found in your research and the evidence that you think you want to use, that you maybe need to find. Okay, 2 sample citations for the 3 sources you plan to use. So taking those sources from today's assignment and putting them into your outline. So please include both an in-text citation and a parenthetical citation for all 3 sources, or a total of 6. Okay, so here is my sample outline. This is totally up to you. what you want your outline to look like, I would just copy and paste this, right? So I would just copy and paste this and then decide, okay, here's my first body paragraph. How many do I want? You know, do I want 5 body paragraphs? Do I want 3 body paragraphs? And remember the rule of thumb, 1 idea per paragraph, right? So don't put too many ideas into your body paragraphs. Just break them up as needed. Okay, let's see. I just reminded you of these rules. Each main idea must have at least 1 paragraph devoted exclusively to it, right? So if you have these 3 main ideas, you need at least 1 body paragraph to talk about it. And then each paragraph should have only 1 main idea. Yeah, so this is really up to you. There's no rules for how many body paragraphs you need, aside from, you need at least 3 because you have to have 3 main ideas. And then you have to have the 2 completely personal paragraphs and 2 paragraphs that include evidence, okay? And then make sure that you continue using our pie formatting to make sure that you are including all of your ideas. And then just a very brief overview. I'm not focusing too much on the intro and conclusion in this assignment, but just kind of think about what do I want to say in my introduction and my conclusion. And do remember, you guys, to change the research question to a thesis statement once you have that completed. You don't need it yet. I always write thesis statements, quite late in the process. I think that having the research question is fine, but don't forget that thesis. Okay, so that is Friday. And then this is a new assignment this quarter because I've had so many students ask me about feedback. So please, before you start on this assignment, writing a title, introductory paragraph, and optional conclusion for your PAE, please finish your outline and make sure you have your sources chosen. So, I created this assignment so you could have another step in between the outline and the draft. So you're going to include this paragraph in your personal academic essay. I want you to read this PowerPoint about how to write a title, how to write an introductory paragraph, and write a conclusion. I don't think that you have to have your conclusion finished at this point, but please do have your introduction. Decide what you're ready to write based on your outline. Feel free to submit the conclusion as well, though that's not required. So your draft will be due on May 17th and the final on May 21st. So make progress, using this assignment. All right, so what I want to see from you is your essay title formatted properly based on the PowerPoint directions. I would like to see your introductory paragraph. You may still include your research question instead of your thesis, but please be sure to put in the thesis before submitting the draft on Monday, the 17th. And then if you would like to write the conclusion, that is up to you. So I will read it. I will give you some feedback. I often write conclusions before I have finished the essay, like sort of where am I going? But you can choose to write it last. There's no requirement for that. Okay, so that is everything that you are doing this week. All of it is going towards that personal academic essay. Don't forget to check my comments before moving on to the next piece of the project. Use your materials again and again, right? So the idea is these things build on themselves. They build on each other. So you're not just sitting down at the computer on May 20th, or May 21st and typing all of this out. Okay, so do remember the materials you've already created. Okay, so again, you guys, come to my office hours. I have them next week on Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11. I will read drafts, answer questions. So thanks for watching and have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.